How is everyone doing today? It is July 29th of 2024 and have a really excellent pepper growing in our yard this season. This one is called the Cherry Bomb. It is, Scoville scale says 3,000 to 5,000. I have noticed that they can go up and down. I know there is a little bit of controversy going around with one that's called the Hot Red Cherry Sweet Pepper. It's supposed to be 500 to 2,500 Scoville units, but it's really hard to determine where that one came from. I know that when we first saved seeds for this one, we've been growing it out in our yard. It was bought from a local nursery as the Cherry Bomb. So this is the Cherry Bomb pepper. One of the ways you can tell from other peppers that also are called cherry peppers, like maybe pimentos or other ones like that, is the shape of it. It's more round with like a stem for a fuse, like you would say a cherry bomb firecracker, rather than you would say a cherry pepper. So the cherry peppers are more shaped like cherries, whereas in the cherry bomb it's got a rounded bottom a lot more. So I'm not sure if the Hot Red Cherry Sweet's a variation on this or just a low heat one, but we really love this pepper. One of our more popular videos has to do with this pepper here, and it's an excellent pepper. I'm going to take it inside. We're going to open up some of these. We're going to save seeds from all of these ones right here in order to kind of push this extra growth that's going right here. They have been a lot more productive for us in the past, but this year we focused a little more on seeds, which you might see kind of, this is a blot pepper right here. There's only one pepper on this entire plant. So this year it's more about saving seeds on these unique types, and it is getting a lot of production out of them. But this one right here gave us enough peppers to utilize. So really like this pepper. Really happy it made it into our yard. This is probably our third or fourth grow over the 10 seasons we've been growing here. And take this inside. We'll open them up and tell you a little bit more about them. But it's the Cherry Bomb pepper. It is July 29th of 2024. UT Angel and Kiddo, and we will catch you guys in just a second. Love you guys. All right, July 29th of 2024, and this is the Cherry Bomb pepper. We're just going to get started and have Angel open up a couple of these. We'll be saving seeds on the three of them that are the darker color. This one right here is a little bit off shade. I just don't want to have to test all these seeds. A lot of times you can drop seeds in a cup of water, wait about 5 minutes to make sure they're not rafting on the top too much, and any one that sinks is usually viable. That's a high likelihood that they're viable if they sink after a couple minutes. You'll notice some of them will float if you don't though. Maybe we'll show that in a future video. Wow, you took a whole core of seeds right out of there.
Ton of seeds.
Look how juicy it is. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love this pepper. Even though the skin can be a little bit thick, and then also it can be a really juicy pepper. It shares genetics with a pimento most likely. Possibly another one called a cascabel pepper. A cascabel pepper has a similar shape to that and is actually an heirloom, so is the pimento. So it might be a cross between those two a little bit that gets the heat up. Like I was saying, they can range anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 Scoville units. We have noticed ours have been a little lighter on the heat, but I don't think that makes it a different pepper like some people may think it makes it a Hot Red Cherry Sweet pepper. We've never gotten the Hot Red Cherry Sweet that I know of. It's always been labeled the Cherry Bomb. And so even though ours might have been a little bit lighter, this might be a watering situation. I can't believe it looks like a geode, huh? Mm-hmm. But this one is a really excellent pepper. Like we have it here, cored out with the seeds to let it dry and make a paprika with. I think with sharing with pimento genetics and the cascabel genetics, if that is indeed what it is, regardless of what it is. Got another core. Grow 1,000 plants with those.
You can stuff these. They make really good little stuffing peppers.
Yeah, they're small. They would make good. You could just put a little dab of cream cheese in there, maybe along those lines. The flavor of them, I don't know how to explain it. It's not really a fruity, sweet flavor. It's more of a traditional heat. That's why I think in the past we've really liked to use these for drying. But the problem is, like I was going to say, the problem is that drying these pods with the thick outer wall and the juiciness in the center, can take a lot of time, and sometimes they can go to where they're rotten like that. So when we dry them, we're usually trying to core them out like this in order to make sure that they dry a little bit better. As far as drying like on the counter in a dehydrator hole, in a dehydrator might be a lot different. We usually just counter dry or air dry. That looks so cool. We'll take a couple pieces of this and give it a try and tell you guys about it a little bit more. Angel tends to lean more towards dairy, generally milk. Yogurt, plain yogurt is a lot better than milk as far as numbing the flavor out. If you'll notice, when you usually have a hot pepper or your mouth's burning from a hot pepper and you put milk in your mouth, you tend to hold it there in order to try to kind of numb the heat off. And then the yogurt right there is more of a thicker substance that you don't really have to hold on as much. It more coats everything. So yogurt does work better than milk. We haven't been using yogurt for a long time. My personal favorite, and I'm not sure of Angel's, is orange juice though. Orange juice for me, it doesn't necessarily have the numbing kind of cover up the heat that the milk and dairy does, but it does seem like the sugars in orange juice, the acidity of the orange juice and such, kind of breaks up the heat and makes the heat leave my mouth a lot faster. So you may want to try both dairies like a yogurt or a orange juice, something along those lines, to get rid of heat. I know that it's only supposed to be 3,000 to 5,000 at top, and that to me is pretty hot because these can be a little bit of a pungent pepper. That means that the heat might linger a little bit more. So has it got some heat on it?
It does have some spice. I did get a little bit of a bitterness to it. Not a lot of flavor. I mean, it's not as sweet as I remember it being. It's not like super terribly hot, actually. I don't need anything to drink with it.
All right, Angel's a lot tougher than I am on this, you guys, so bear with me. I know you guys all want to see me in pain, so.
It kind of hits quick and it starts to burn, but then it dissipates really fast. It does have a little bit of the bitterness to it and some slight sweetness.
Yeah, I'm saying the heat's pretty low on it. I'm saying it's probably like, it feels really low, like a really mild jalapeno. I would almost maybe compare this to the lemon spice jalapeno, which is like probably about 3,000 to 5,000 Scoville units. Lemon spice jalapeno is considered a mild jalapeno on the Scoville scale of how hot the jalapenos can get.
I like using this for, I like chopping it up and putting it in like meatloaf. If you like to make meatloaf, spaghetti sauce, I think it's really good that way too, to give it a little bit of a spice.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily need, I'm even going to be brave for a second. We're big wimps on heat, especially what we call thunder heat. I'm going to take a big piece. That has a little more placenta on it. I could tell right where it was at.
Yeah, a lot hotter.
I need a little bit of yogurt.
You got a spicy bite there.
We haven't used yogurt in a long time. Somebody in the comments was bringing it up, and I was like, holy smokes, because we've been going without orange juice. We showed up to the grocery store, and orange juice was about twice as much as it was in the past. Even on sale, it costs more than we used to be paying for it, so we've just been kind of steering away from orange juice. Been drinking a lot more apple juice, grape juice, cranberry juice, maybe some of this cheaper juices rather than...
Yep, that piece was definitely a lot hotter. It reminds me of a jalapeno heat.
Yeah,
definitely.
That placenta, if you can scrape that placenta off, you're probably looking at maybe 1,000 or 2,000 Scoville units. With that placenta, you're looking at probably 3 to 5. It does have a lot more heat with that in there. but you could almost have a sweet pepper just by pulling it out. And our grows are always in containers under different kinds of conditions that make it so that none of our grows are indicative of what you can actually do with this plant. But that looks like a red geode, huh?
Yeah.
Like a ruby geode.
Definitely having the placenta in there and eating a bigger piece, it's a lot spicier. My mouth is still burning. The back of my throat started burning.
It's almost like a pungent flavor too. It's hard to explain. It's not really strong, but the pungent flavor that I would best describe it as is almost like you have a muskmelon, like a cantaloupe, and you have a honeydew melon. Honeydew melon has a lot of sweetness to it, but a muskmelon, like a cantaloupe, has a certain kind of funky flavor to it almost. Jalapenos, I would say, would have a strong comparison to this one. It doesn't taste like a jalapeno, but it does have that almost pungent kind of pepper flavor to it that makes it excellent. These are excellent dried for crushed red pepper powder.
Oh, yes.
I would say out of all the ones that
Or crushed red pepper flakes even.
that I've used for crushed red pepper flakes, this has been one of our very favorites. But like I was saying, drying it on a countertop like that with as much juice and as thick as the walls can be can take a really long time, and you put yourself a little bit at risk of it being so juicy in there for so long it can kind of get like rot
Moldy.
and mold and gross inside of it. So we tend to want to cut these open if we're going to dry them. I'm not sure if we will just give these to a neighbor to try out or if we will whatnot, but gonna save seeds on those 3 tops right there. A really excellent pepper. If you've had a pimento, you kind of know what the flavor of this one kind of is. It's almost a specific kind of pepper flavor that's a little bit pungent, or musk pepper, you might call it. But really love to have this in the yard. Like I was saying, it's our second most popular video out of all the videos that we've done so far. It's our second most popular, and for years it had been sitting at the top.
It is a really good pepper, and I definitely recommend giving it a try. If you have never grown this or tried it, it's worth it.
Yeah, and if you're not a fan of hot peppers, this one's not too bad. Even with the placenta, it is about close to hot as a jalapeno. Maybe it would burn Kittle a little bit, and I might take second guess on giving him some. But other than that, it's like,
It doesn't burn as long as a jalapeno.
yeah, if you like spicy foods but you can't handle heat, this one right here is just that tad bit of heat you might want for that. And it can make all sorts of things. I can almost imagine these like a pimento pepper chipped up in green olives like you see in the store.
Yeah.
Really similar to the rounded pimentos. Pimentos come rounded or a little bit conical, but the cherry bomb pepper, it is July 29th of 2024. Take you outside for one last look and catch you in a second.
Thanks for watching.
All right, so that was the cherry bomb pepper. One last look at the plant here. It can grow a lot bigger and stronger if you have it in the ground and it has a little more space. This one right here specifically, I'd say does pretty well. Singled, better than it would be doubled if you grow in 5-gallon buckets. I'm not sure how many people do that. We just have to do it for our unique growing situation, but an excellent pepper. This one was a little bit less flavor than we have had them in the past, but that's almost just like this one plant in a random town for us. But the cherry bomb pepper, we really like this. It has almost a traditional salsa style flavor, or a little bit of a pungent, similar to jalapeno, not like a jalapeno flavor, but just almost like a pungent or musk pepper style flavor. Really like this one of our very favorite peppers to hit the yard. It's always produced well for us. I think one of our first grows, and we are on our 10th season right now, was this. I believe we started growing this the second or third season that we were growing in this yard, and have had it intermittently on and off ever since, and super excited when it makes it because it's just so usable in lots of different things. You can stuff them, even though you'd have to have quite a few of them, and I would rather have like a larger pepper for stuffing specifically, but this is an excellent type for sure. Shares genetics with, most likely with, the pimento pepper, which can come in round or elongated. The lipstick pepper definitely shares genetics with the pimento, but really liked it. Super happy in the yard, and if you haven't given this one a try, I would definitely say give it a try, especially if you like spicy food but you can't handle a lot of heat. This is just a little bite. It's not too bad. I would like to mention, though, it is more of a thunder heat. We usually rate it on lightning and thunder. Lightning is more how strong of an impact it has or how hot it can get. So a high lightning pepper would be one that gets really hot and also strikes really fast, and as you start eating it, it gets hot. Then there's also what we call thunder. That's the one you eat that might be the thicker oiled peppers that tend to have a heat that just lingers and almost is like thunder, just continues to roll on for a long time. This one I would say leans heavily towards a thunder pepper. Even now, 10-15 minutes after we have tried that in the kitchen, I can still feel a little bit of the warmth on the back of my tongue. Shout out to the commenter, I can't remember what their name was, that mentioned bringing up yogurt, because I don't know why it was like we either had to have milk and orange juice kind of overruled everything for us to be able to get rid of the heat, and then the milk to dumb it down a little bit. The yogurt worked really well to dissipate the heat on these. It's not a lot, but like I was saying, it is sort of a thunder heat. So especially if you like crushed red pepper, powders, things like that, this would make an excellent pepper for tons of different things. Really usable, really good flavor, almost traditional, but the Cherry Bomb pepper, it's UT Angel and Kiddo, July 29th, 2024. Happy to have tried that out. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.